Hello. I have 5 note cards today. We're looking pretty good. I'm ready to go. All right. Free trade is an extremely controversial and a very much debated concept in the United States government today. Should we have free trade? Should we not? Does it benefit us? Does it harm us? But the answer is quite simple. It is very beneficial to have free trade in the United States. In an article called Free Trade by Alan S. Blinder, it was stated that over $1 million is invested by U.S. consumers into the luggage industry per job in the luggage industry. Per job is a huge part about this. That is so much money that we are investing into luggage, when we could take that money and invest it somewhere else where we want to, like technology, like Apple, or putting it somewhere else where we really want to grow instead of luggage. We could take those luggage jobs, send them overseas, still get the luggage, and then be able to grow somewhere else. This might seem complicated right now, but it will not in a few minutes. This number is huge because it just shows the importance of free trade. Today we'll be describing what free trade is, what prohibits free trade, and the national and personal benefits that we all will feel from free trade. First, we must define it. Free trade is the unlimited international trade, where we can trade with countries like China, Mexico, and European countries. In an article by the Economics Online from the UK, it was described that the things that prohibit free trade are tariffs and quotas. Tariffs are purely taxes on imports. What this does is it limits the amount of tariffs the limits amount of imports that we get, which then raises the prices of the goods. So all of us consumers have to pay more money. But the government does gain tax money from this, so that is a plus. The negative is very obvious to see. We just pay so much more money with all these types of things. A quota is the same way. It is a limit on goods. So there are so many less imports to the point that the price is increased dramatically for us to pay. Except the government gets no tax money, so it's even worse. Next, we will look at the national benefits that we see with free trade. In a novel called The Choice by Russell Roberts, the idea of comparative advantage is discussed in the concept the roundabout way of wealth. The roundabout way of wealth is described as when you specialize in something, you make it, you trade it for other goods, you get those goods and make money from your goods, and you just keep going. The best way to describe this is a baker and a butcher. If you're a baker, you make bread. You don't make meat. You don't make both bread and meat because then you're not going to be good at making either. So what you do is, as a baker, you make your best bread, trade it to the butcher, get some meat. Boom, comparative advantage. Another concept that is very nationally benefited from free trade is that there are so many more people. This is fairly self-explanatory because think about all the billions of people that we can trade with now and sell our goods to overseas. In a video from the CNBC, it was stated by Sarah Eisen and the CEO of a huge manufacturing and 3D printing company, Mitch Freed, that small businesses are very dependent upon free trade, and that free trade helps enable exporting companies, which are a large part of our economy. Small businesses need free trade so that way they have more people to sell to. That way they have more growth options. That way that they're able to expand and grow as a company. And exporting companies, well, that's pretty easy to see. That for them to make money, they have to be able to have free trade to export. And that is a pretty large sum of our economy. In another article, by the 15 Advantages and Disadvantages of Free Trade, by the editor-in-chief of the ConnectUsFund.org, it was stated that tech and safety are greatly benefited with free trade. If we want to get better at making bread, but we just don't know how, we can go over to, say, Germany or England and see how good they are making bread and take that and make our own good bread. Everybody is benefited because not only do we gain, other countries gain as well. And in safety measures, we are able to see other people's safety measures, and if we like something, we can input it into our own economy. But also, especially in places with child labor. If we are able to put our safety requirements into their countries, those countries will be greatly benefited and will be able to grow dramatically. Now, we are going to look at the personal benefits. Everybody, there will be more jobs. It is a very common misconception that free trade just takes away manufacturing jobs from the United States and just send them overseas and then nothing else happens. But this is very untrue. If we look at the number that we stated in the introduction, the $1 million, that money will not be spent on the luggage industry, but will go into other sectors like sales and marketing of our own goods that we like to make, like pharmaceuticals. That is something that the United States is very proficient at making. People will get more jobs in there because more money is invested. So they will be able to afford to have more people get there, and also they will be more paying. They will pay so much more. The former U.S. Business and Individual Council Educational Foundation member, Alan Tonelson, was against free trade. He said that he asked, how does employment go up when growth goes down? He argued that there's going to be $7 to $8 billion deficit in the manufacturing companies, in the manufacturing industry within the next year. This might seem true, but Mitch Free, who is the manufacturing guru, stated that it is very difficult for companies to survive without free trade, and that he actually believes that free trade is a net job creator. The manufacturing guru says that free trade is good. Yes, some jobs will go overseas, but guess what? The other jobs that are here and that are made here will be so much more well-paying because they will be invested in more. The idea of this is that the efficiency will go up, the output will go up, the price will go down, and there will be better jobs. This just increases everybody's income. In fact, the UPS CFO, Richard Peretz, described that per 22 international packages sent overseas, one job is supported in their company. That is huge. That is so many jobs that are created in the UPS industry. And not only mention the fact that airlines greatly benefit from this international travel. There are so many jobs that are created. The idea that they are not is just a huge misconception. In the end, there will be cheaper goods, more income, and better quality goods to buy. All right, everybody. So as we discussed today, our wallets and bank accounts will be so much happier if we have free trade. Based on the 2 econ classes that I've taken, I can tell that just the fact that all these people believe that free trade is bad, it is just a huge misunderstanding. When in reality, it is so beneficial to our economy. Today we were able to discuss what free trade is, what prohibits it, and the national personal benefits from this free trade. To leave everybody off, I will give a quote from Adam Smith, the famous economist, that says, "Maxim of every prudent master of family never to attempt to make at home what it costs more to make them to buy." The idea of comparative advantage. Thank you, everybody.